Hey guys, it's the Magic Hour. How y'all doing out there? I hope you're having a great day so far. Hey, Virtue, good to see ya. All right, well, happy Sunday. I hope you guys have been having a great weekend. It's a nice long weekend for us here. I thought this would be an excellent day for us to finish up the first Phoenix Wright game. We've been playing our way through the entire game. We're now at the very last point of the very last day of court for episode 5. Hey, Buddy Bear, good to see ya. Welcome. Happy Sunday, dude. All right, so let's go ahead and pull up our saved game here. And we will get into our very last day of court. Now then, will the defendant, Ms. Lana Skye, please take the stand? Ms. Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. That's right, we know that Damon Gant is the bad guy. But Lana keeps trying to take the blame here. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dart convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. That's right. We're gonna throw him in the lockup. He's going to the clink. We're gonna have him sent to the Old Bailey. Send him up the river. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana, if this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. But what if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Wow. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. All right, great. So now we've got a chance to poke some holes in this story. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. What? Tell me more about that. You said you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean, Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. Yeah, she is. It's so strange. And it's ostensibly to protect her sister here. All just to protect me. So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, then moved the body. No, you didn't. You did not. Do you know how hard it would be to do this? Because they found the tip of the knife in Marshall's body. No. Yeah. Hey, Nagito is base. Thanks so much for the follow. Welcome. But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of the others. Well, I don't understand why you would need to maybe move the body? I understand planting the knife, but the body, that's the question. Oh, hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. This is one of my favorite games, and we're at the very end here. How are you doing? When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. Yeah, I think more detail might help here. The reason Ms. Sky moved the body. Pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. Ah, the jar. This jar, huh? We've got a weird jar in the evidence. Where is it? Here it is. Here it is. You're not doing too good, but it makes you happy that people still play these games? Yeah. In fact, I'm planning on playing through at least the first 3, if not more. Not all today, of course, but if you enjoy these games, stay tuned. I'm going to be playing them. Alright, so let's go ahead and present this weird, unstable jar. We had to put this back together and everything. This is probably useful here. Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I'm compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony? Yeah, I've played through I have played this first game before. It's been a really long time, though. I haven't played these games in at least 15 years, you know? So, like, basically when they first came out. And they're so much fun to revisit. They're just so good. A contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threaten my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. Ah, yeah. Making an excellent point here. Yeah, you're right. These are classic games now, right? Ah. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. It's true, it's true. Order, order. Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Okay, something critical. Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony. All right, a little more testimony for Milana here. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Okay. Well, I've got an idea, because there was a piece of the jar that was in the safe, right? So how could she have gotten all of the pieces of the jar when Gant had this one piece? And I think that's part of what he had to hold over her head as blackmail, right? Yeah, this game looks really good. I agree. For its age, this still does look really good. But, you know, the graphics, obviously, they got upgraded a bit when they ported it over. It still looks a lot like what I remember the DS version looking like. And I think what's so cool about these games is to me, it was like an entirely different kind of gameplay. I'd never really seen anything quite like this, that you had to observe and, you know, look for evidence and use that to prove your case. I just thought this was so revolutionary the first time I played it. So, I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. Okay. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. Well, like I said, I don't know about that, because we had that additional piece that Gant had In his office. Oh, no. Went too far. Gotta go back. Okay. So let's go ahead and present this, right? Because the description here says, final fragment found in Chief Gant's safe. So she wasn't able to find everything. Yeah. Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. Oh, yeah, well, he had to have, because he stole that one piece of evidence and hid it in his safe before Lana could even arrive, right? But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Can you believe that? This judge. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first... Geez, the judge is busy defending his buddy Gant. The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Good point. Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? No! Now we've got the judge going no. Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposefully hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. But why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma, and therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the chief's puppet. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that, coming from my own client. I guess you do seem like the type who likes to twist the truth. Man, that's not cool, Judge. How you gonna talk about us like that? We've been totally upfront. Yeah, the judge is just here for the comments. Wait a minute. What if? We're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lana may be right after all. What do you mean, Wright? So, you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright? No, Emma, that's not what he meant. Miss Skye, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Skye, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. That's right. That's not scientific at all. We need to follow the evidence, Emma. Wherever it leads. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth. Ho ho ho, Edgeworth calling her out. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. All right. The witness may testify once more for the final time. This judge is way too patient with giving people all these chances to give their testimony. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor's sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Yeah, it is a fabrication. Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor's sword? You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. That's true. If the judge was an expert on law and his role in the courtroom, Phoenix would not have won that first case. Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. What? I thought it might be needed. Yeah, where is this photo? But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you. I guess she does. She's given us all the evidence. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right? Yeah, Buddy Bear. It's yet another Nickelback reference in this game. Just kidding, just kidding. I seem to remember getting something from her back then. Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there or something. That's right, she did give us something. What was it? Ah, this, the Book of Evidence Law with the little Sherlock Holmes chicken here on the front. I really like the cover of this book here. Okay, well let's take a look at this. And see if we see anything. Well, there's not much I can do other than click on it. Let's just click on it here. Oh, wait a minute. What? What? Yeah, Herlock Sholmes. You know, and that's the thing, Nikita, is I've been thinking about these games because I got the most recent one that came out where you play as his like ancestor. I forget his name. It's like Ryu something, or I'm sure you know exactly the name. So I do know who Herlock Sholmes is. He's a fantastic detective. I haven't finished that game either. Gosh, there's so many great games in this series. Hey, there's a picture here. You know, just a casual picture of her colleague's dead body tucked into the back of this book. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had rearranged everything. Alright, so Lana's picture is now in the court record. Mr. Wright! Alright, let me get a closer look at that picture since it's in the court record now. That's right, Buddy Bear. Look at that photograph. Look at it. That is pretty brutal. You know, sometimes you can turn these things around. There's something written on the back, you know. But this is just giving us an up-close and personal look at Neil's dead body. Yikes. All right. Mr. Wright. That piece cut out from his vest. Could that be... Oh yeah, looks like that piece with the handprint, huh? The cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe? What's this? This is a handprint, isn't it? Mm-hmm. That cloth. It had fingerprints on it. Whosever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. What? Those fingerprints... They're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marsh... Oh, what? This guy? Hey, that's not fair. Where did he come from? This vampire hippie guy? Alright, come now, Edgy. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gant. What? Now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put a word or two in my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. Oh, that's a burn from our boy Edward just slammed that dude from the top ropes. Whoa. Whoa, you saw the darkness being released there for a second, huh? Ah. So what? You think I'm worried? I know, right? That animation's hilarious. Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't, but someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death? Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is this true, Mr. Wright? if I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, you'll be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. Ooh, that's a threat. What do I do now? I'd better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? Well, I mean, I can't, right? Because it's got Emma's fingerprints on it. Oh, man. I think we can't do it. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie. Chief Gant? You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Oh, someone's in big boy trouble. Someone's in big boy trouble. Hoisted by his own petard, right? As they say, impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? Ah, you had a genuine Wi-Fi moment, huh? Well, welcome back. I hope it's working again. I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. Then it occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. This guy, what a scumbag. So you really were manipulating her. I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask for my aid. So you assisted Ms. Skye. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe? But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for? A fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. Oh, well, thanks so much for stopping by, Nagato. Have an awesome rest of your day and hope to see you again, alright? Next time you see me, I'll probably be playing a different Phoenix Wright game. See this jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar, too? Oh, some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, Righto. Cough it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it then, Chief Gant, that you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe. Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all, but it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it then, before it was too late. It's been a long battle, but the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. Alright, well, everybody's calling us out on it, and they know that we have it, so I think at this point we kind of have to, right? Okay, alright. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Alright, where is this cloth? Here it is. And let's present it. Alright. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh, yes. At last, you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. Yeah, I would too. This handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean, it could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Oh my goodness. Oh. You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Righto had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? Mr. Wright, do you really know? Oh man. Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Oh my goodness, whose fingerprints are they? Oh man. We've got no choice, right? Very well, I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person to whom these fingerprints belong to is... Well, we know it's Emma's, right? I guess we'll have to present this, because we do know. Yeah. Emma? Emma Skye? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? Yeah, that's a really good question, Emma. I wanted to know why he didn't just tell you either. Oh! You're really something, Righto. You knew this girl did it all along. And you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. How could you? You monster! Miss Skye, You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Huh, but I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. Oh, he's threatening us, this guy. The absolute nerve, the gall of this man. You purposefully concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. You know what? So did you, Gant. You purposefully concealed this by hiding it in a safe. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? You gonna tell us how it feels? Wow, he's really trying to rub salt into our wound, isn't he? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh? And what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Sky, wasn't it? No, I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is. Ooh. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. All right. Well, what do we have here? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. So if you look at this picture here, right? Something that I'm noticing is that he was wearing this vest when he was supposedly like stabbed, right? And he's like got blood that he's spit out all over himself here, right? Wouldn't there be blood on the part where Emma's handprint was? Like, he must have cut this out of the guy's vest before shoving him onto the knife, right? Yeah, this is like an order of operations type thing, right? He couldn't have blood down here where the cutout is if that vest was intact. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, big brain time, huh? And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes. His shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs no doubt were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth. Wait. There's no blood on it. Oh! Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? who could have arrived at the scene before Ms. Lana Skye, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword. Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue and make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. Yeah! Yeah! Get dunked on! Get dunked on, son! It's finally all over. Oh, jeez. Oh, no! Oh, look at him! Oh, he's so upset! Oh, that was close, Righto! You almost had me! No, unacceptable, unacceptable. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. Order, what nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Udgy? Earlier, old Righto here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Righto? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. But that's not fair. Hoo 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 hoo! Did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son. This guy plays dirty. And we are on his turf, after all. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True, illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? It seems, at last, the time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Yeah, he's got a plan to reveal. Hey! Thanks for the follow, Lord Diego. I appreciate your support. Welcome. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? Well, no, I didn't do that at all, Your Honor. I admit I refused to present it at one point. Haha, so the evidence is illegal. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Udgy, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe... There's only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well. Let us settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. All right. It all comes down to this. So we have to prove our conduct was not in violation of the law, I think the only thing we can really do is fall back on our evidence law textbook here, right? Okay. Let's present it. Here we go. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book, the second rule of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule number 2, unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here is the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Right, Buddy Bear? He's trying to fall back on the photograph. Sorry, but can you recall, when was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Oh, yes. He did it. No! It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer, and there's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant. The killer was you. Oh, this guy's going nuts. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. Yeah, you mean the murder of his brother? Literally, you murdered his brother, dude. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you gotta help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking the evidence out, he said, "It's not too late. I'm going to hand all this over to Marshall." Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling whenever he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it, that accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint. Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer. But everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. Hey, it's the Heart! How you doing? Good to see ya. Yeah, we're at the very end of the game. We're wrapping this one up. You're just in time. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car? I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? Man, you destroyed his whip. You hit a dead body in his trunk and you're like, no big deal. No big deal. Do you plan on playing the rest of the trilogy? Yeah, you know what? I am planning on playing at least the first 3 games. And I actually haven't played some of the games that are in this series, and this is such a fun series to play. I'm going to see what I can track down to play on the stream. You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Grr. Leaving the prosecution's car aside. How? How could you get Miss Sky involved in all of this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker? I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar fragments in the glove. Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. Yeah, that's the thing about trying to pull off a perfect crime. It's a lot harder than it looks. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. Oh, Edgeworthy's trying to give you the whole you and me were the same speech. Don't listen to him. This is a classic villain speech. We're the same, you and me. You and me could run this town, Spider-Man. All right. Let's see. Game 2 is definitely a letdown compared to Game 1. And Game 3 is the first game that you ever played that you gave a 10 out of 10. Wow. High praise for a game there. 10 out of 10. Yeah, well, we'll have to make our way through it. And the thing about games that are a slight disappointment, like you say, Game 2 may not be quite as good, it makes us appreciate the better titles. But I love the way that these games really tried to incorporate the hardware that you were playing on at the time, using the stylus to select the evidence, using the microphone to blow away the fingerprint dust and all of this. So they're just so much fun. All right. One day, you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Udgy. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as you used to be, long ago. You were once a fine investigator and an example to others on the force. Oh no! Gant, you offended your old buddy, the judge. You made him a sad man. He's not as cheerful as he usually is. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Udgy. Thanks for the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Buddy, you think I still let a whole lot of heart back in here and get her to testify, right? You just want to see her face again? You want to hear me speak with that southern accent? Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Wright here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. Yeah, that's exactly true. Lot of Heart that's your waifu. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had Gant help me forge evidence until today. So, it seems all questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My, what high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows, a few years from now, you just might make it to the top. Hey, she smiled at us. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Sky. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing. Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it! I only did my job. He's so bashful he doesn't take compliments well. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky. Yes, Your Honor? You are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. That's right, they're holding her responsible because she did commit some crimes. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains. Wow. Well, she's surprisingly zen about the whole thing. I don't think spending time in jail is high on the priority list for most prosecutors. It's not really a friendly environment as a former prosecutor to be spending any time behind bars. Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Yeah, you said it, Judge. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Ms. Lana Skye, not guilty. Woo! Yeah, victory! We did it! That is all. This court is adjourned. At long last, it's finally over. Emma? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. You wonder if confetti drops in all courtrooms? Yeah, that would really be interesting, right? Maybe they should add confetti to TV court dramas, or maybe even just TV courtroom shows, right? Like Judge Judy. She has a finding and then confetti drops from the ceiling while people argue with each other. That might be entertaining. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended, I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well. You know, I did my best too. But Lana didn't say a single word to me. I hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Hey, it's Gumshoe! It's our boy Gumshoe. Good to see you, man. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. No, dude, don't go. Don't go. Come back. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? We need to give this guy a warmer welcome. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh, are you here because of my sister again? Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Hey, it's her sister. Lana. Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. Alright, so it's sort of on the DL. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day, 2 years ago. Was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis. I asked Aunt to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis. I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh, Emma. Emma. Aww. That's so cute, look. Aww. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on toward a brighter future. Aw, that's so sweet. At least, that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up. Super wholesome, right? Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe. Me? Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. He's such a gloomy Gus, isn't he? Where was he hiding? I just came to say, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right. Well, I'll be going now. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. That's true. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realized today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth! Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. No! Don't think of yourself that way, dude. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth... who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor. What? No, dude! You're an amazing prosecutor. What are you talking about? Edgeworth! Don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma. We're both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. Yeah, you know what? They both stared too long into the abyss, and the abyss stared back at them, right? That's the thing with dealing with, dark parts of human nature. You said, in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright. Show him what Lana's talking about. Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find out on our own. What could it possibly be? Okay, well, there are a number of things it definitely can't be, at least, right? Alright, well, let's see here. Not Edward's knife, not the parking stub, none of this. We discovered all of this on our own. Switchblade, the luminol, ID card record. All of these things I think we did just fine, right? The jar, fingerprints, we did find all of these things. And this, the autopsy. God, so much evidence in this case, right? Oh, what about this one? The evidence list. Let's go ahead and present this. That's the picture I drew. Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list and I had the other. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture. That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth, if you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, Mr. Wright. But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. Super cute. There's still friendly rivals. I'd better be going too. Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation. Oh, look at the cute little cover with the little chicken. And it's got a what is that, a deerstalker hat on, right? That's what Sherlock Holmes wears. I mean, Herlock Sholmes, of course. It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will. Super cute. And so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Oh, another cute picture. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Yeah, no kidding. Huh? Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright here is the one who will be footing the bill. Huh? Huh? What, you think I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? 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 Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Why is it... I suddenly feel like I want to scream. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we go pay it off together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys, let's go. All right. Well, that sounds like the end of... Oh, I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take care of Emma. I hope she'll be pleased to study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. That would be cute for the two of them to investigate crimes together. It's a little bit of an epilogue for Lana. Yikes! I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If we penalized you any more, it'd be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. Just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easily. Yeah, what did you guys think? Did you enjoy it? Have you seen this game before? You ever played it? I know this is a bit of an older game, so... My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show him, though. Someday I'm gonna make detective. Yes, sir. Then I could be just like that Dick Gumshoe. Ah, he looks up to Detective Gumshoe. That's cute. Ah, you loved every minute even though it's not your kind of game. Yeah, you know, it has a special kind of charm. These games, they really have their own kind of charm to them, don't they? Hey, the Blue Badger. So long, Blue Badger. Still doing your dance? Looking good? Mm-hmm. Oh no, it fell apart! Oh, poor Blue Badger. Well, I guess that's something that Detective Gumshoe will just have to fix, right? Not too big into the visual novel style games yourself, but Phoenix Wright is a classic for a reason. Yeah, I agree. What is it? Can't you see I'm having me a showdown with a steak lunch partner? Miss Starr managed to sneak this into me. She's dating one of the guards, it seems. Well, cowboy, it looks like you did it. You even gave Bambina back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? How'd he get his flask into the prison? I don't even want to know where he was hiding it. Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu. The Right Way lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer's as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. She named a lunch after us. That's a great honor. Fantastic. the judge. I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left? Anyway, he said he's been doing something or other for how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I'd better be... Huh? Oh no, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, gotta go. Boy, what a forgetful judge. Oh, look at this background. Ah, nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya, afternoon training's about to begin. Coming! Well, see you around, Nick. Oh, you think the judge was the real hero, because if he wasn't so scatterbrained, the trials would have gone south quick. Yeah, you know what? You might just have a point there. Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth? I brought you your tea. What's going on? What's this? What was that about? The bellboy. Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be all right. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. That's cute. Oh, we can see her too. Let's click on the back. Is there a picture? What is this? Aww. Look at how cute they are. She's wearing the little policewoman hat. Super cute. Aww. That was a really nice epilogue. Oh man, I really enjoyed that a lot. What a fun game. Okay. Well, I hope you guys really enjoyed that first game from the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy. I guess now would be a good time for us to switch over to a different game for the remainder of the stream, right? So let me go ahead and throw the BRB screen up real quick here, and why don't we get switched on over to, how about I'm on observation duty? Alright, so I will be right back in just a few moments, okay? Alright.